Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo is a psychological thriller that delves into the complex relationship between a retired San Francisco detective, John Scotty Ferguson, who suffers from acrophobia, and Madeline Elster, the mysterious woman who he is hired to follow. Scotty is hired by an old acquaintance, Gavin Elster, to follow his wife, who is supposedly possessed by the spirit of her ancestor, Carlotta Valdez. As Scotty investigates her, he becomes increasingly infatuated with Madeline, only to witness her death in the fall from a bell tower. Devastated, Scotty experiences a severe mental breakdown. After his recovery, he encounters Judy, who bears a striking resemblance to Madeline. Scotty becomes obsessed with transforming Judy into Madeline, unaware that Judy was actually impersonating Madeline as a part of a murder plot concocted by Gavin. The story culminates in a tragic revelation and a second fatal fall from the bell tower. In Vertigo, the pursuit of personal objectives, be it love, identity, wealth, or truth, leads each character to confront a significant loss, underlining the high stakes of human ambition and the complex trade-offs in interpersonal dynamics. The film examines the paradox of desire, how our most profound pursuits often bring about unintended consequences, and how the fulfillment of one ambition can precipitate a profound loss in another aspect of life. As the story of Scotty, Judy, Gavin, and Midge come together, Vertigo digs into the heavy price we sometimes pay for chasing our dreams. Scotty is drawn into a complex plot when he agrees to shadow Madeline. His subsequent infatuation provides a distraction from his own problems, but it also blurs the line between duty and desire. In tailing Madeline, Scotty finds himself falling in love with a woman who doesn't exist, which leads to his mental collapse when she dies. The severity of his condition is reflected in the scene where he is catatonic within the sanitarium, staring at the wall, showing the psychological price he pays for his emotional investment. Scotty's acrophobia is a physical manifestation of his control, which is echoed in his personal life. His attempt to save Madeline is thwarted by his condition in the pivotal tower scene, a direct correlation to his inability to save his own sense of reality. The loss of this control extends to his interactions with Judy, as he obsessively tries to remake her into Madeline, not realizing that he's surrendering his autonomy to an illusion. The moment Scotty recognizes the necklace on Judy, he gains the truth, but loses the last remnant of innocence regarding human nature. The loss is etched on his face, a look of a man betrayed by his own heart and by those he thought he knew, conveying a deep disillusion with the world around him. Scotty's final ascent up to the bell tower with Judy is a moment of personal triumph over his acrophobia, but it's also where he faces the ultimate loss. Judy's death serves as a brutal reminder that overcoming one's fear can sometimes lead to an even greater loss. And Scotty is left with nothing but his recovered mental stability, which seems more of a curse than a blessing in the face of his solitude. In forcing Judy to confess, Scotty aims for a moral victory, to confront the lie head-on. However, the cost is clear as Judy slips from the tower. Scotty's rigid pursuit of the truth results in emotional ruin. Encapsulated in the final scene, where he stands alone atop the tower, a hollow man marked by the tragedies he's endured. Judy's initial gain in the film is tangible, money and a new life, yet her impersonation of Madeline strips her of her own identity, leaving her to live a lie. This internal conflict is portrayed in her hesitant glances and forced comportment during the early possession scenes, where she knows each step is a further entrenchment into a role that's not hers. Judy's feelings for Scotty are complicated by the role in Gavin's scheme. Her gain in love is constantly overshadowed by the deceit she embodies. The emotional turmoil she experiences is palpable in the scene where Scotty, ignorant of her true identity, asks her about Madeline. Judy is caught between her genuine feelings and the facade she must maintain. Judy's agreement to become Madeline again is a twisted sort of victory. She regains Scotty's affection, but at the expense of her own authenticity. Each step of her makeover is a step away from her true self, a surrender to Scotty's fantasy. Her internal struggle is evident in the mirror scene as she emerges from the bathroom, the transformation complete, yet her eyes betray a sadness for the self she has left behind. Judy's hope for a real relationship with Scotty is fragile, built on a foundation of lies. Her anxiety is almost constant, shown in her wary looks and nervous actions, knowing that at any moment, the truth could shatter her dreams of love. Judy's confession to Scotty is her moment of redemption, in an attempt to reclaim her own narrative. But the ultimate irony of her story is that in seeking to gain Scotty's love through the truth, she loses her life. Her fall from the bell tower is not just the end of her life, but a metaphor for the fall from grace she experienced by entangling herself in Gavin's plot.
Oh, Scotty, don't let me go.
I'm here. I've got you.
I'm so afraid.
Gavin gains freedom from his wife and access to her wealth by exploiting Scotty's weaknesses and Madeline's likeness. His calculated demeanor, especially in his conversations with Scotty about Madeline's condition, shows his lack of remorse, positioning him as a character who gains materially while discarding his conscience. This is evident in the scene where he describes Carlotta's history, which is a fabricated story to set his plan in motion. By the film's end, Gavin has successfully evaded legal consequence, illustrating a gain in a practical term, but a profound moral and emotional loss. His absence in the second part of the film conveys this escape, leaving the character he manipulated to deal with the fallout. It suggests that while he may have gained in the short term, the cost is a life on the run, devoid of human connection, and moving to Europe. Gavin's willingness to use Judy as a pawn in his murderous plan reveals his manipulative nature. He gains from Judy's vulnerability, but loses any semblance of humanity, depicted when he is dismissing her concerns coldly after Madeline's death is staged. Gavin's ambition drives the plot of Vertigo, but it also serves as the character's downfall in a moral sense. His success in fooling Scotty and the police is a hollow victory, and he's portrayed as increasingly isolated and devoid of empathy, a man whose gains are superficial and whose losses are of the soul. Ultimately, Gavin's storyline in the film is unresolved, leaving viewers to ponder the long-term consequences of his actions. His character arc serves as a cautionary tale of what happens when one's gains are retrieved through treachery and deceit, victory without honor, success without satisfaction. Now we come to the most complex character of the film, Midge. Midge's role as the ever-present friend and confidant to Scotty offers her a closeness to the man she loves, but it's a bittersweet position. Her love remains unreciprocated, a point of deep personal pain that is evident in scenes where she tries, and fails, to draw Scotty's attention away from his obsessions. Her character embodies the cost of unrequited love, constant emotional expenditure without any return on investment. Midge is a successful artist, which gives her confidence and independence in her professional life. However, this success is contrasted by her personal life, where she experiences failure in capturing Scotty's romantic interest. The duality of her situation is most apparent in the scene where she presents the painting to Scotty, hoping to impress him, only to have her efforts dismissed. Showing her professional talent is unable to secure her personal desires. Midge provides emotional support to Scotty, particularly in the scenes following Madeline's death. While this gives her purpose and a sense of being needed, it also reinforces the secondary status in Scotty's life. Her support is crucial for Scotty, yet it locks her into her own platonic role, underlining the theme of gain at the expense of her own romantic aspirations. Midge uses her art to express her feelings, which is both a personal gain and a risk. Her artwork connects her to Scotty, but also exposes her vulnerability. When she shows Scotty the painting of herself as Carlotta, it's a bold move that immediately backfires, revealing that her creativity cannot compensate for Scotty's emotional unavailability. Throughout the film, Midge remains close to Scotty, providing a comforting presence. However, this closeness highlights what she lacks, a deeper, more intimate bond with him. Her character's journey in Vertigo serves as a commentary on the limitations of platonic love and the pain of being near, yet so far, from the object of one's affection. In Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, the characters attempt to gain what they desire most: love, freedom, success, truth, inevitably and ironically lead to a loss. Each character's story intertwines to form a broader narrative about the sacrifices we make and the prices we pay in our own pursuit of happiness. Hitchcock masterfully weaves these individual losses into a larger tapestry, that speak to the human condition, leaving us to reflect on the true cost of our own desires.
And him.